אוקיי, וואו. בוא נקווה שאני יכול לעשות את הצילום הזה עכשיו, כי אם לומיין לגאסי עובד ולא רואה שום סיבה למה שהמשחק הזה לא יעבוד. יש לי טאסק מנג'ר, אז אני לא אמור לדאוג בנגיע לזה. עכשיו כל מה שאני באמת צריך לדאוג זה רק שהלייב אשכרה יעבוד. אייס אטרני! קודם היה דיליי של 20 שניות בטסט עם לומיין לגאסי. בוא נקווה שזה עדיין יהיה נכון ושלא יהיה לי בעיות. כי... או בוי. יש לי הרבה דברים לעשות. דיליי נראה עדיין בערך פלוס מינוס 20 שניות. אז בפרק הקודם, שעשיתי אותו אשכרה כמו פרק ולא כלייב, כי היה לי את הבעיות האלה עדיין, עשיתי את ה-investigation השני ברסיפי פוטר בעיות. אני כל כך אחורה בסקייג'ול, אז תהיו מוכנים לעוד לייב של אייס אטרני, אם לא יהיו לי בעיות. תהיו מוכנים לעוד לייב. אז בואו ניגש לטרייל של רסיפי פוטר בעיות. 100% אני עכשיו מרגיש הרבה יותר טוב, וזה כיף. אז תצפו למה היה לי שברגיל. עוד פעם. אבל אם אני אדפוק את הכל אני מצטער. אבל אני אמור להיות בסדר, הכל אמור להיות בסדר, לא אמור להיות לי בעיה. ניסיתי את זה אתמול, לא היה בעיה. אז בשמיני לינואר 9:46 דיסטריקות, דפנדנט לובי 1. בוא נעשה את זה. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that. The little flash of doubt in your eyes. No! That was a doubt. That was determination. On the Undertale. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Okay, bye-bye. Oh. Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe! Quit stressing Maggie out! She doesn't need that. How do you know she was stressed? I was watching through the door. Gumshoe! No, man. אני כבר under schedule! Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this one. Oh! A book! Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not a million years, pal. Don't tell me you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't seem like one of those aromatherapy bottles. זה הבקבוק שהיה בדי אחד של האינבסטיגיישן! מה? אוקיי, וואו. באמת הייתי צריך קצת רמיינדר, האמת. אני לא יודע למה היה פעם קודמת. פעם קודמת היה את כל הנושא הזה של הקדברינים. אוקיי. זה בהחלט יהיה אינטרסנט. עליי. זה נתקע עוד פעם. יאללה, איך אתה על סקרין? כן, זה לא שמר לי את הנושא הזה של טרייל. כמה יש שם? יש רק 3 resolutions. זה פה. ייי. ואם אני אסגור זה יתפטר מזה מיד. אתה קטע אותי. כן, והנה ויולט's homemade donuts. ייי. איך זה יראה את זה? זה יראה את זה כקאט? רק רגע. זה יראה את זה כקאט. ועכשיו אני בדיליי שבערך 2 דקות. אוקיי. ואם אני עכשיו אפתח את המשחק עוד פעם? עכשיו שזה לאט לאט חוזר לעצמו, להיות רגיל. לפחות אני יודע בערך איפה זה נמצא, ואני רק אראה אם זה ימשיך לי. רגע, לא! אבל זה היה חלק מה... אומייגאד. מעניין אותי מה יכול לגרום לבעיה הזאת. אם מישהו יכול להגיד. כאילו כן, יש לי כמה דברים פה פתוחים, אבל אני לא מאמין שזה רלוונטי. הרי ברייב כל הזמן יהיה פתוח. סטים זה ליטרלי זה. סטרים לאבס זה הרקורדינג סופטוור. ואז הטאסק מנג'ר פתוח, אבל טאסק מנג'ר לא מפעיל שום דבר. אז כאילו. איפה בא כל הלאגים האלה? זה רגע בי right back. אני רוצה רגע לסדר משהו. אוקיי. זה עובד. ככה. אוקיי? עכשיו המנחתי את זה עד כמה שאני יכול. בוא נראה אם לא יהיה לי בעיה. של לאגים, כי בשנייה שהייתי במשחק לא היה דווקא לאגים. כאילו כשחזרתי. אני פשוט לעשות ריסטארט. או מה בדיוק קורה עם הלייב. אוקיי, whatever. אם זה לא יעבוד ויהיה לי בעיה בלייב, יש לי רקורדינג. אז עכשיו אני התחלתי את הרקורדינג סשן, שאם בעצם יהיה לי בעיה בלייב, אז אני יכול להשתמש בזה. אולי מעכשיו אני אשתמש בדבר הזה? כי לא נראה שיש לי בכלל בעיה ברובלוקס, אבל כן במשהו כמו אייס אטרני. מעניין למה. anyway, בואו נתחיל. רגע. אולי אני רק אסדר שאני יכול לראות notifications. הנה. 6% מהפריימים של הכל. בום. יופי. עכשיו זה לא אמור להיות בעייתי, ושיהיה לי בהצלחה. אני אעשה הכל מחדש בקונטקסט של הסרטון. 8 בינואר 946, דיסטריקט קוד דפנדד לובי 1. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well. It had a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that. The little flash of doubt in your eyes. No! That wasn't doubt, that was, determination. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Okay. Alright. Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How do you know she was stressed? I was watching for the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this will help. Huh? If you take up aromatherapy too? Not a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Trey Bien's kitchen a couple of days ago. כן. האחד שמצאנו באינבסטיגיישן הראשון. Finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So, what is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication. What? Medication? Yeah. For ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah. It's the medication Glenn Elk was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glen Oak's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? שאלה טובה. The victim's ear medicine found covered in identified fingerprints in the kitchen. נראה שבינתיים הלייב הולך בסדר, אז אולי אני לא אמשיך את הסרטון, אולי אני לא אשלח את הסרטון. אבל כן, ככה זה נראה. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? All one screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Good to note. Another hour, and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... It's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal. This is it. Make sure the defense is impregnable. Is impregnable today. Got it? Okay, Gumshoe. Whatever. Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Okay. 8 לינואר, 10 בבוקר, דסטקור, קורטרום מספר 4. Oh boy. לא פרפקט, וניגש לטרייל. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Burke. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. You're good. We'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kuda. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder in the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Blow. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Okay. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's why all my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to those riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. Oh! Yashar Armstrong? Okay. And you are... Oh, bonjour everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and the chef of La Trespienne restaurant. Enchanté. Oh my god, I love... What the fuck? Forgive me for asking, witness, but... Are you a woman? Blah. Ooh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I'm the proud and perky gentleman. None. On the day of the incident, you were in Trey Bian's kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, Monsieur. Everything feels right. Okay, אפשר לגשת לטסטימוני? Oh, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at JBN. We, volunteers. Okay. Whatever. בואו ניגש עכשיו testimony. הדרך משהו שאני אפעיל עכשיו זה שאני הולך להשתמש באותו גייד שהשתמשתי פעם קודמת. אבל עכשיו during 41 trial. אז עכשיו אני מתחיל ב-at JBN. Press him on every statement. The mirror. Press every statement. In the restaurant. Press every statement אבל אחרי statement 2. Which is how many minutes after. לפני שחוזרים ועושים one time בשביל להמשיך את הסטורי. אז כל זה נראה לי חייב להיות לפני statement 2. אז זה כיף. בוא נעשה at JBN. When it all happened, there were only just two customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new decors that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. Look up the earpiece and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? Interesting! Mirror? On Grand Mirror, the most enormous mirror. Seriously? מראה? And suddenly, the mystery disappears. איזה מראה? Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. I would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Oh then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Should לעשות press להכל. Just two customers. Hey, who were the two customers exactly? Mice, of course, the young man who died. And the other, not so young man. You're referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up. Bring him up, don't we? I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. Okay. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today? You're not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur. Please stay on topic! Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? Well, I did. Just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong? This deco you mentioned. Are you referring to some sort of decoction? Ma? No! Art Deco! It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Yes, of course, that decode. I was trying to achieve a more efficient look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. Like having a large mirror between. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Well, something about 4 meters wide and... wait, about 2 meters high. Let's see. If 1 meter is about 1 yard, only glass and freight, that's huge! 2 מטר גובה ו4 מטר רוחב. זה גדול, obviously. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. There's none, but I decided not to go with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror? Press! If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies. But what? Objection! Oh. Then ask, Shrike. You'll have yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to JBN the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turns out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to JBN, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. If you want to doubt someone, try it. Look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. The witness yesterday had seen their victim reflected in the mirror. Perhaps this is what the old man was looking at. Normally I would expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Objection! Normal. How does normality come into this? That's lame, right? Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the perch-headed lawyer and the top-notch chick over there? And the odd golly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, try it. Ah, not that. I do not have a top-knot. Mr. Godot is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Bien. Logic has won the day. Blah. The cup, the earpiece, the glasses would have been everything in reverse. Everything! You would have seen everything in reverse? Hey Nick, should take a second to figure out about what the old C said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? Wearing the earpiece the same side as the specs. No question, it was his left ear. And I used the same hand to pick up the cup. left ear, אותו אחד של ה-earpiece, left cup. left hand, left cup. כאילו לי באמת הבעיה הזאת שכאילו למה שהוא יגיד בעצם למה שהוא יגיד שה-HMD הוא בעצם בעין שמאל? If you saw everything you described reflected in a mirror, everything you said you saw on the left was actually on the right. And that clears up all the problems in his testimony, I guess. Or does it? I don't have to believe everything is the fault of a mirror, but... Do you think OC saw everything through a reflection? If they would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in the old man's testimony, we just gotta dig deeper. אני לא יכול להתמודד עם שני אנשים. אז הלוג'יק היחיד שאני יכול לחשוב עליו זה לא האירפיס, כאילו. זה ה-HMD. Oh my god, okay. Coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kuyo's testimony for a second, shall we? On the same side as the specs. הספקס נמצאים בעין שמאל. Left ear. So to summarize, we were told above the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, Mr. Kuya saw all of that as a reflection in the mirror. It means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente. You see, Monsieur? Now that you think about it, it is not so odd, no? ה-HMD נמצא בעצם בעין שמאל, לא בימין. Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kuya really did see everything in the mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Perfecto. Order. Mr. Wright's correct. If the witness generally observed the victim reflected in the mirror, we would expect the victim's earpiece to have been over his right eye. Sorry, eyepiece! Eyepiece? מי מדבר ככה?
Objection!
Albert. Right. You should have a taste of experience. It will calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? Don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? Remember this, I presume. The I broke the vase sorry apology letter. I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind takes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. L? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elk's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled speckles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Well tried. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought it was the OT for a minute there. That's good. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of the contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. We can explain. Please, if you look at the plans of the restaurant. Okay. Hello, is everyone sitting comfortably? Ramiro, he was in the middle of the restaurant dividing the two aisles. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. There was the seat at the table next to the victims. Was where the old man was sitting. After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in their way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. אני יכול להגיד objection, אבל אני עדיין אצטרך לעשות פרסים, אז אני אצטרך לעשות פרסים. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep it up. Except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy! You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Okay. The mirror was dividing the two halves. So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I would have put a mirror there. Would be in the way.
Objection!
Look who's talking, Wright. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But this is my seat in the courtroom! Fabienne's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Wright. I tell you, Monsieur, the mirror was there, in the middle of the restaurant. כאילו... רגע, אני אראה את זה אחר כך. אם שמו פה מראה, שאז אחר כך אומרים שהוא יושב פה, קופץ ככה, על פי פיזיקה זה הגיוני, אבל מה שלא הגיוני זה זה. פלוס הטסטמוני של קולר. איפה הטסטמוני שלו? הנה, הטסטמוני. אבל אני חייב לספרס להכל. And where would that be? Ooh la la. Look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. I try to see older ones too. You know, handsome. Should I tease you too? I'm already seeing a very hot summer, but I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Bill, I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen. Next to the victims. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? My husband saw. It is obvious, no? If you look at the plants, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. He was sitting at the table next to him. You would see everything, no? So that's the seat old City was sitting in on that day when the poisoning happened. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kula was off calling the police? Oui, exactamente. I carried out to the restaurant. Carried out of the restaurant. Get them. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself. I say, I know how to pick up things up and some. You don't actually laugh at something. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong? I look like the obliging type. Obliging type, none. But I did not touch anything else. Are you sure about that? I touched nothing except for the mirror. That's right. Is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Ah! Suffering from a case of heartburn, Trite. Ooh, I was just saying for that. And all with golden milk and frankincense. Add a few drops to your coffee, and voila! Enjoy. Focus, Phoenix, breathe. I take notice too and just find some evidence. It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't. And neither did the old city. Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Chabian that day. I'm just going to prove it somehow. Okay, יש לי שני דברים. I did not touch anything else. אבל לכללי יש את זה. אוקיי. אוקיי, זה לא חישב את זה. אז נותר רק דבר אחד. וזה בעצם הקריים פוטו. אוקיי. יופי. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes. This photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Wright. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist in this photo? A vaso servito. Take that! I think it's pretty obvious this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have to do with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there shall be no vase on this table. Because it clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. There's only one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting on the table next to the victim at all.
Objection!
My God. Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. It's the only one could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly! There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Trey Bien that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. You.
Objection!
Makshav! Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Objection!
Fortunately, Mr. Cadeau, that doesn't quite work. That doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Oh my god! The fuck that thing. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right! There was no mirror in the restaurant that day! In the light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim the mirror wasn't there, try it. Then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If you can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? You really saw this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. What? Kudo made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. Master Man, the victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions. And there's only one simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kerr witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. Zach covering up a phony victim? As me, I am a phony victim. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Glenn Elg at all. He was an imposter. A phony to be pretending to be Mr. L. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Oh my... Okay, whoa. זה השקעה נראה טוב. Order, McCoy. Settle down, or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Reps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Troy, you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elk and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All to express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Oh my god, the all probably that's witnessing? He's like, come on, they're about goodbyes.
Objection!
Get real, Wright. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? I think Mr. Kudo was most incident about in his testimony was... Huh. The serving girl! Maid. Huh. Okay. It's so hard to believe, but... There was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Objection!
You saying that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness? If the restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh, this is most difficult for me.
Objection!
No, it's quite simple. All you need to do is testify. You're under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at JBN that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. It will accurately explain in detail the events of the restaurant that day. Oui. Okay. The victim, Monsieur L, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Mom, L became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. There was no time for a phony to do the acting. So we're clear. There was no mirror at the restaurant, after all. Jeffers demand a pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. Because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is to commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. We'll decide how to punish you later. We. Now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took the perjury charge a bit too well. I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination.
Hold it!
Was he alone at his table as well? Oui, sweet. I saw him from that kitchen. The defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. He swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Objection!
Fortunately for you, Wright. Yesterday's witness was also testified that the victim was alone. You know, saying you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? Not coffee. It's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Margaret Merlin? In the restaurant. מה היה השם של הטסטמוני הזה? In the restaurant. ולזה קוראים In the restaurant. אוקיי, אז זה הטסטמוני. אתה אומר לו עוד פעם? פרס I remember the old men.
Hold it!
By old man you mean Victor Cook, correct? Wait, who's out there for my special coffee? I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, Monsieur. You're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip and nothing more. Some old Mr. Kura arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe we should ask about his arrival in more detail. Amata, how many minutes? How many minutes? כאילו 100% הגיוני לשאול על הטיים שקודו הגיע. Obviously, כי יש את הפלייר. והפלייר אומר 1.5, וזה בדיוק כל הבסיס של הטיים. אבל אני לא אעשה את זה עכשיו, זה יהיה אחרי הטסטימוני. So you're saying that not much time elapsed between when the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived? Oui, that is correct. But that still leaves the possibility that something happened in that gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say elapsed? Let me see. Approximately 2 minutes, I would say. 2 minutes? That's all? Seems unlikely that anything untoward could have been happening in such a short time. Rats! I should have pursued this line of questioning. So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim.
Objection.
How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Wright? You never catch me drinking the same blend twice. Huh? We're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant. You're wasting your time. Can't grind bird seed to make coffee, if you catch my drift. There's a hole in this testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it. Word came at the lottery. Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, yes, $500,000. Presumably the defendant heard that too then, correct? Maggie, she looked like a poor little frightened dove. And what about Mr. Kudo? The old man choked in some birds, seared the cut stuck in his throat. Seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. 5 minutes after the poison. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill. I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry? What do you mean? There is the renowned chef Jean Armstrong and a tragic poet Clarice Armstrong. Ma! Clarice? I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef in $500,000 of debt. Looking for a man won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi. It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the court. Please don't! There was no time for the acting. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred? I asked the old man to call from the payphone. By your own argument, right? The purpose of this phony's victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed. Yeah, it seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted. Yes, suppose. I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh? Absolutely! Someone was impersonating Mr. L, and I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all. If you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah, you mean that's when the phony staged his act? We'll know for sure once I find a hole in this testimony. What time was it? Out of curiosity, what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? I cannot remember, Monsieur. We were told by the witness yesterday. Reported ב-2:25. Was that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes before he arrived. But the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10. None? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. 2:02 קרה בדיוק ברדיו. Sure! Can't sit here all the time and do nothing, can I? This time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. What do you want, sir, Judge? Everything I do it for you. Si bien. It's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's really having a song to himself. I remember the old man arrived not long after, just after 2 p.m.
Hold it!
Niestety po jest האחרון. Are you absolutely sure about the time? When I think really odd. I am sure it was just after 2. Wait. It is the time I stopped serving the lunch menu. Right. I always wait for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. It's never been known to walk up in the case early just to make it on time. I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Shut up! Witness, get over your testimony, please. אני אעשה סייב. ואני הולך לחזור להתחלה של ה... לא, זה יקרה יותר מדי זמן, אני אעשה את זה כבונוס בסוף. אני אעשה את זה כבונוס בסוף הפרק. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Wait, what do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers for $500,000 for the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be the show, no? The showman Elg was listening to. I can't see the problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at the restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Wait, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, right? If you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30. Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. Lord. The victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from those facts. The victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes. There were 2 Glen Elgs at 3 p.m. that day. The real Glen Elg is now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Cook to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Objection!
What performance, Wright? You're almost on a roll. Sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Is it Therapy 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just past after 2 p.m. The Euphonium is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Cool. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection!
Thank you. Right. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? Literally, if the stage בדיוק location, אז חייבים בעצם להזיז את הגופה, פיניקס. According to the old man's testament, there was only one other customer there. And the customer was the phony Glen Elg. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? קל. איזה מקום אחר אפשר להחביא את זה מ-customer? The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, right? Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with that intense pressure here all of a sudden? What I had with that contradiction? But he started all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Glenn? The real Mr. L concealed? Inside JBN. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside JBN. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show to the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location of where the body was concealed inside JBN is... I mean, well... Take that! Body was hidden here. I see. Nice support. The position. But the real question is, can you back it up? What's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? Book. Take that! Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. Only the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found at the kitchen of JBN. Oui. I only use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elm visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. Contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. L. the body in the restaurant kitchen. At which time, this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu. Yes, you know what I'm going to say. It was you who hit the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were certain enough to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No. Oh my God, check this out. Yes! Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness. Did you murder Mr. Glenelg? Never. I could not do such an horrible thing. Oh. What the fuck? Mr. Glenelg? The bitterness. Every time I get light, I was down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? I do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take it down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? The age-deficient friend. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a job. Listen to me. Por favor. Por favor. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong. And por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? Oh, no, absolutely none. Let's hear it. I've got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness. The court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. It is clear. What they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Literally, I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. אני לא צריך לדאוג פה, כן? כן, אני לא צריך לדאוג פה. אני רק צריך לעשות את ויקטור's note. אוסקודו. או פה, אם אני צריך לעשות את זה... אומייגאד. אבל אני חייב את ויקטור's note. אז בוא נעשה את זה כבר. לפחות אני לא צריך לעשות את הטסטימוני. It is true, I eat the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him, I swear. You must believe me. You were forced? I hope. I cannot say. I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? So it was. So it was another man. Soft got soft! Oh my god! What? Stop. I knew it! Maggie was telling the truth. I cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Soak herself. A man forced me to do it. I had to go because there was a reason why I could not refuse. That.
Objection!
Ken, okay. You had a $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong? Oui. This is disorder. I was weak, and I borrowed the money. This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. Oh! Yes! Yes! It's like the Jane's foreign language course! Yes! And that's why you can't refuse anything asked of you by this man! Furio Tigre! $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you to do. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. What tiger? He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. Under the impression he was making the victim to the man that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to. I had no choice. I killed the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lartic that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. It looked like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It was despicable. Mr. Godot, we'll summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. אשכרה הולך להיות די 3. Things will continue tomorrow. Good. Here's day 3. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get Naga on the stand. Not a minute more. Hold up. Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if the chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Farewell. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We'll resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. אני ממשיך. אני לא מתעכב מ-to be continued כזה. ואני שמח, אני השגתי את Jane's foreign language. סליחה, זה היה ככה. סתים! הנה. Jane's foreign language course. סוף כל סוף. באמת היחיד שיש לי בעייתי זה lunchbox specialist, שאני אהיה חייב לחזור לזה עוד פעם. אבל זה יהיה ביום אחר, וכנראה גם זה יהיה בעייתי, לאדי נגד step ladders. זה יהיה גם אחד שהוא complicated. כי זה ליטרלי תלוי בכל ה-save files, אבל... סליחה. הרבה דברים פה. אבל כן, יש קצת כיף לראות שאני מתקדם באצ'יבמנטים לאט לאט. ליטרלי השגתי את האצ'יבמנט הקשה ביותר במשחק. אני בעצמי קצת מופתע. ועכשיו הגיע הזמן לסיים את הרסיפי for turnabout. Let's do it. השמיני בינואר, 1:21, דסטקור, דפנדנט לובי 1. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We're almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now. He said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? To point out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know. But if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. We defend that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Oh, hey, Gumshoe! Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumpy about, Detective? You're standing on end. Hey, that's the pod calling the kill back, little Mr. Top Knot. Stop Knot. It's not a top knot! Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? It's 10 and I still have a job to do. I kinda get bummed up. Ah! No kidding. You have something you need to with me to do, pal. Anything. Wow! I'm gonna take a jog back down to precinct. Get some prints analyzed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The chopper will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you can get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints out for this for me? Bakboom. זה הדבר היחיד שהוא בעצם עם unidentified fingerprints. We're going back to the station anyway. Can you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, it's the small ball I gave you back this morning, right? Yeah! I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right now. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Bye bye. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. Step to separate the phonies from the real guys. Am I? 8 בינואר, 56, קולטרום 4. בוא נחזור. Or we're now reconvened. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed it for you. It was a free cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty loyal. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Oh, hi, Shul. Witness? Please state your name like a patient. Ah! Oh my god! There's room for me down there too. Ah, yeah. What do you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear was in just a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? Got business to take care of, you hear me? So don't call me into this hole! You, Spikey. No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where is it? I may just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. You didn't hear me. So who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point in struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I am the one that halted you in. Too cool. Well, let him get a better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about those sticking incident, mask boy. You didn't attend to the previous trial of Maggie Bird. Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright! You're the one who set this up, didn't you? He's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me. At the Phoenix! Get a grip, Nick. Okay. I don't know nothing about no murder. Just tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tender Lender every single day. So when I check my alibi, just ask Violetta. Alas, I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination. Oh. What is it, please, with this? You can refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. Although I ain't no lawyer, he just punches away a stupid detail till he wins. No life? Me? So I'm smart. Every time you ask something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000. And you're gonna borrow the cash from me. Oh, that's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think I'm gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. It's really not. This witnesses. How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side, and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I'm no choice but to oppose a penalty system here. Seriously? You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Seriously? Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Am I provided already, would you, Maya? Close. זה קפץ לי. דבר ראשון שקפץ לי על הראש, כי... בגלל הסיבה הפשוטה של... אתה היית אמור להיפגש עם הווקטום. לא. היי, וואו. Right, if I said, hold it? Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know? You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secrecy is. Sharp? Is she talking about... Is he talking about Viola Cataverini? She writes everything, my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. Seems like a rather sketchy schedule. Ugh. Here he goes again. What the heck did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what it was like on the day of the murder, so... Now what? Press! Mr. Tiger! What do you want? If you want to if you don't mind going into a bit more detail.
Objection!
This is dead end, Troy, and you know it. Remember the rules.
Objection!
No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in your office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I haven't seen a young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Note, if you could please. Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add the last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you! Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself! Hey, you was talking about? I was in the office, too. Never saw that kid before. עכשיו אפשר להגיד שזה על לוח שנה. יופי. Mr. Tigre, you claim that no Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you didn't know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad. It's actually not bad. Sorry. I was just messing with you. See how good you are. You hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's what one compliment I can do without. Plus he's lying for his teeth. Witness, so remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. Calling me a liar. Is that what you're doing? Ow! So you're saying that you claim you have never seen that kid before. Is the truth? Said I'm dead serious. Scallop, you better believe that's the truth. Huh. And I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is why you'll testify to the court again, Mr. Tigre. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? Never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie there. ושכחתי להשתיק את הטלפון שלי מההתחלה, אני דווקא מופתע. It's It's time I nailed this guy. The victim, Glenn L. I ain't no lie. I had never met Glenn L. There was some lame guy with a name. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy at my office, and the lender. Way around, but he ain't never showed. And ain't even been to that Bien joint you was here. See, all it seems pretty logical. I'd arrange a meeting with the victim had didn't show up. I've heard it's very hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. Maybe go your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal to going down today? I gotta make my bus. I'll have to take the express train. The bill's going straight to you, right? I never met. There was some lame guy with a name wanted to borrow cash. They set up a meeting at my office. I went around, but he never showed. I never even been to a Bien joint. Oh, wake up! Her matches between the lender. Oh my god. האמת רגע שנייה אחת אני אעשה רגע הפסקה קטנה אז בי right back, תהנו מהמוזיקה אני כבר חוזר, אני צריך רגע לעשות משהו חזרתי! ייי! בוא נחזור חזרה לטסטימוני. רגע. E! Yes! Okay, wow, that might, okay, perfect. Mr. Tigre! Is there something you would like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What are you talking about? We found them in your office at the Under. They're from that restaurant. You've really never been to JBM before. What was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You've been snooping around my stuff now too, wise guy? Fine, my ball and chain. Ain't no bra controlling me. Or, well, witness. I think it's time you start telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I'll go back on what I said. But, okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. This goes to proving it was him. He did make Glenn Elk that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. at JVN. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. I opened the door and saw the joint. Saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid all over the table. Steve was gone. Figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard cop sirens on my way back. Then I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet him in the end, then. You didn't actually meet him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make it to the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Anytime try pressing on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to stab the little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. Special Express ain't cheap, right? So yous know since yous pay. Just so you know. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Was supposed to be. When I opened the door, I saw one ugly scene. תחת את הדלת הזה נותן לשאול תמונה של floor plans. Oh! Okay, perfect. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Troit? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans to the crime scene. So you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, you fled. Your field of vision would have been covered. Would have covered an area something like this. Indeed. The witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? So the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the clothes put back, you remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of JBN, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him.
Objection!
Wrong. You forgot about what the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
Objection!
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glenelg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. I will do. Shog's gone long enough for the obvious question being answered. What exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? killer murdered Gorilla No. And then impersonated his victim in a performance from Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Tigre.
Take that!
Obviously, the killer's Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you just don't understand. The tiger is king of the jump. So there's you come try again. Come on. You got the guts. Except for me, Mr. Tigre. That's the offense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me it must be you, old man. It's got guts. I'll give you that. Mr. Wright! Do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Stick it out. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no. Oh! But was the victim, he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. Fact remains, he saw the accused put the coffee into the poison into the coffee. Yes, oh. Very impressed, Mr. Glow. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Found your pen at last, Troy. It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Cool witnessed two people that day. This is the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright. I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also a part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? ויולה! לא יכול להיות אף אחד אחר שקשור לטיגרה. חוץ מוויולה. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Gattaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlander. He was making a big mistake. Did you know who Viola's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck, or you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes. The defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. שיש עוד אחד, אבל היא הייתה בעצם אישה עם הצורה הקריפית שלה, i.e. ויולה. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all those contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real and one for the show. And Mr. Fugitive, the only person who could have committed the crime is you. Witness? I have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry. He was alright. I can do this guy like you around. Oh, what do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. Gonna have a shower. A jet to get me to my meeting now. But I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? It's got all wrapped up. Nice, huh? Right. You was missing out one real important thing. But that can be. I was in the joint that day. And I met the kid too. But couldn't have poisoned it, you see? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at 3 p.m. between yourself and the victim? Okay, Bana says it. Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned L cash for $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat to get ahead his payback date, see? So, tell me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flat the guy when he started screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. That waitress had done what she done. Everything would have been over. Oh. I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got a VIG to take into account. It's interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal! And his repayment decline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. Got $500,000 just in time. So I ain't having no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Okay. The payment. So it tells me he got no way to pay out. About to fly again when I start screaming. Yes, I have $1 million luck. The waiter has done what she has done. Everything would have been over. Views. MC בומר. הוא היה חייב כמות יותר גדולה של כסף בגלל המדיקל פייפרס. הוא היה חייב כמות גדולה של כסף, הוא היה יכול לקבל את זה אם הוא היה משיג את MC בומר. שליטרלי יש לו במשרד, דרך אגב. אז זה, MC בומר. לא. אוקיי. כאילו 100% בין המדיקל פייפרס של ויולה לבין MC בומר. יש קשר. אולי הווירוס קשור לזה פה? לא. אולי הוא לא יודע. לא, אין שום סיכוי שהוא לא יודע. אין לו שום דרך לשלם! אבל ילד MC בומר. לא! Yes? How much did he have left on his debt? It was more than around figures. About $100,000. That's the whole amount. Talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? You're telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. L. That guy was smooth, I tell you. Real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. That guy then calls me the tender type. He was taking on thin ice with me. Was that because the guy won the line? That's his last chance at a big win. You can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 and runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time that you met with some accuracy. Then the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also that Mr. Kudo could see it. Still see the kid's face. I ain't gonna forget it. I'm lucky, real lucky. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. There was no one there. I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Sir Armstrong, Maggie, if I'm right. Viola Gadavarini. And if I'm right, Viola Gadavarini. We're all there that night, at that time. So, the victim had intended to prepay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning? Seems that way to me. Normally wouldn't expect to win the lottery, would you? Ah! And don't believe that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. It makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't gotten the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot and you got lucky in the end. But that waitress hasn't done what she has done. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses and the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? She hasn't gotten in the way. Things would have been bada ding, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little bit about this. Ask about how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 That's all. I'm a businessman. We're all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell you from the witness's testimony, Rather than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no money for killing the victim. Like this, you will amend your testament to reflect you. Oh my god, it's the tiger's motive, huh? It was after the $150. They didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. ועכשיו אני יכול לזרוק את המדיקל papers. Okay, יופי, המדיקל papers. So you just did that to get back to $100,000 from Mr. Elg owned you, correct? Hello, the guy, the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. Where did you get all this info? This medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got the wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. רק שתשק אותנו, לא צריך לעשות את זה. יהיה לי. Order. So his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bro, Cadaverini! My boss in charge of all the underworld activities in the city. And darling grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation. The boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elk's life to pay your debt. Oh my god, that's a wolf. Or. What did you say to that? What do you say to that witness?
Objection!
Tonight's no fairy tale, right? But even if the witness did need the $1 million, but there's no time to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000, and he had no hope of repaying it anyway. Yeah, that guy wasn't even worth my spit.
Objection!
I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true. The opposite? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Do you know where you're going with this, Nick? I've got to think outside the box, Maya. Outside the box? It's very straightforward. Mr. Tiger wasn't after the $100,000 at all. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. You care to share it with us? What exactly was Mr. Tigre after? CD Bomber! Mr. Elk was a programmer, highly skilled programmer. Skill was the cholesterol Mr. Elk put up. Collateral, סליחה. Was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money. Good to explain how the skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan. That's right. And the skill of to create a computer disk. And so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber. You're a virus? Not just one of those, though. A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What is one of the... I guess the build isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. Bruh. I'll explain to you later, Yirine. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would have been worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was that one thing, the virus. Okay. Let me show my Royals. On the death of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Held had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened. But he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery. Which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. ועכשיו הוא שם את הפוזר. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move. To frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. Victor. The witness being the one we heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection!
Like I said, Shrike, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For stars, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
Objection!
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owned the witness money, too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Yay! Oh my god. It's for a good show, Spiky. You just want to stay alive in the low chart business. Gotta be careful. You're saying I just stop it? Just stop like that kid? Create a witness and frame someone? If I did something like that, I'll leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. one more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Wright? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? A paper badge.
Take that!
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor! Mr. Tigre, you don't then just pose as the victim on that day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. What? The witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you. Sitting in here in this very court a mere month ago. I think it's right one of the most disputable, shabby defects I had ever seen. Okay.
Objection!
Box off! Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify it was him? Oh. Hey, forget about it, yeah? Who did something like that? Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Objection!
Have you no pride, sir?
Objection!
This isn't a matter of pride. You guys didn't know, right? Here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Cadota is right. Your Honor? For myself, I am absolutely convinced. The defendant in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! The defense has no further evidence. The court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances already Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've got so far! You say he impersonated Glenelg. You say he impersonated you. I know that adds up to the murder charge. You have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ah! Ah! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the time! We're gonna get mauled! You was here that... All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to get him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. Try just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. The witness's cross-examination is over. You're free to go, Mr. Tigre. Hurrah! Oh, hold it. Oh, Your Honor. Oh! Oh my God! Oh, sir, wait! Detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked out everything on this. My badge, the works. Here it is. How it's going on this too. Oh my God, c'est ma moche! זה ממש farewell my turnabout, Detective Francisca. What is it, Detective? Is it obvious, pal? The final, decisive piece of evidence. What? Okay! Staan we bij een koken lobby. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? But the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so, do you know who those prints belong to now? Think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I do. So, tell us! They're the tigers, right? I knew it! You bet! Clear as crystal, all over the ball! The Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright? That's great, we've got him now, Nick! What's wrong with you? You barely said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the ball now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage of the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Oak's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. Mahology. I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. Alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Oh, Mila. Oh, Maggie! Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. Now I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. Remorse! I'll get out of your area. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was! Gumshoe worked hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Celosa faz alba. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Granted your recess, you could prepare this decisive evidence if discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Thank Phoenix. I think Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I have been in court before. I haven't made no court before. You lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know we can't prove anything new with this evidence. Really backed into a corner here, but maybe he thinks he's got me beat. He'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive evidence to the court. Final decisive evidence! זה הדבר היחיד שיכול להגיד בתשואה! This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim? Your Honor! Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belong to you, Mr. Tigre. What? That's right. Our conclusion you're hoping to drop is the information. Everyone here knows what this ball contains. Except one man. One person in the schoolroom should be theoretically in the dark. My parents are a fancy-looking ball. Is that what you say? But what the hell is it, anyway? Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and the phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Feels like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Oh my god. Mr. Tigre! This is an excessive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... But... Fuck it! Go! This ball contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Oak, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? Let's make a good clown, you know that. What? And I gotta get this stick. It's just making me laugh now. Think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger. A bluff? Can see straight through your Phoenix, right? And the ball with the cyanide did it. No. This is the ball we found traces of the poison in. Almost with the time. You're gonna get ripped to shreds. That ball was brown. It's made of glass. That cheap piece of trash. Don't look nothing like that. Checkmate! Case solved! Case solved! Got him. At last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said the ball. Is this the ball you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the ball the cyanide was in. But you guys gotta find my prints on that ball. Or let that cause looking so for you people. That's lawyers just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you have just said? What I said? What did I just say? You summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of ball the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you stood up in front of every single person in the courtroom. You described the exact ball used by the killer to hold the poison. You just don't know who he's messing with. At the time, draw millions of dollars in the black market. You think you're gonna let some chump up suit to get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played by you. The biggest phony of all. אני רק אעשה את זה עד הסוף, כי באמת נראה לי חמד מאוד. Bye bye. Oh. What's going on? Looks like a blackout. Well done, Wright. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Oh, never mind. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Wow. Wow! As a case. It's right. Got a tiger by his toe. But if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigger, Mr. Godot? He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Your Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Only the truly frightening one is the defense attorney over there. Well, now I'm in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty! Yes! I'm done! That is all. This court is adjourned. Yes! Oh my god. שמיני בינואר 4:10 דסטקות, defendant לובי 1. It's alright. I lost my words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Oh, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be headed up. That's all right, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. Wow. I didn't know you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I was, Well, guess I'm heading off. See you around. Wait up, detective! Just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt out for you. It's been explained that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even for any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's really been worried about you throughout all this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. Didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. Without me, that's why. He thought I have done it. I had to prove that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Oh! A lunchbox.
Take that!
Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe. Made with a ton of love. He said that you lost weight and he has been worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies. You know? Oh. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know? Yeah. The trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Oh my god! So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. Aww. זה כמו ending cutscene, אבל זה לא הסוף של המשחק. So the case of the phony versus genuine comes to the end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Wow. There's a picture about the end. Whoa! Yep, chop. בסדר, אז בנרד. זה נראה כמו אדג'וולף! זה יהיה בפרק הבא. זה יהיה פרק הבא, זה לא יהיה בפרק הזה. אז, פעם לך מתוך ה-trial, Turbo Beginnings. אוקיי. אני פשוט לא קורא את זה, אני אעשה voice acting אחר כך. זה בהחלט נראה מעניין. Hey, Phoenix. Okay. Oh! Huh? Okay. Okay. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey first trial. Interesting. פברואר! אין לי זמן לזה! אומייגאד, אני אשכרה משחק בתור מיה עוד פעם! אני לא תפסיר פה. פורס, ואלי הורפורד. רגע, הורפורד! Valerie Hawthorne. police officer and the victim, key witness in this case against the boss 5 years ago. אני אעשה את זה כלייב אחר! אבל אני עושה את זה בעוד כמה שעות. בעוד כמה שעות אני אחזור לפה ואני אעשה את הקייס הזה. כי א', אני כבר יותר מדי מאחורה בסקייג'ואל, וב', נראה שזה קשור לדליה הופורן. זה קשור לדליה הופורן, לפחות מזה שיש את ולרי, שהיא לפחות קרובת משפחה. זה בהחלט יהיה מעניין, אבל הוויס אקטינג יהיה בקרוב. ייקח לי קצת כמה שעות לסדר את הקולות כמו שצריך. וגם אני חייב לעשות את הקול של מיה. שאלה בטח עד כמה טוב אני יכול לעשות את זה עכשיו. אז שיהיה לי בהצלחה. בכל מקרה, כאן ירין ניפגש בסרטון הלאה הבא של ירין קיוגרס. מקווה שנהנתם, וירין אאוט. ביי חברים, וניפגש בעוד כמה שעות.